Hi, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us why you're here outside Downing Street today.
My name is Ahmed Eldin. I'm a journalist, and I'm here because I want to make sure that the British government knows that its citizens and all of us are aware that it is abdicating and violating its own moral obligations by enabling and facilitating Israel's genocide.
Ahmed, you've been a journalist reporting on Gaza and Palestine for quite some time. Have you noticed a change in attitudes over the past year and a half? You know, a change in people's reactions?
I think it's undeniable that there's been a shift amongst the people, amongst human beings. There's been solidarity across the world. I've been privy to it, and I would argue that's one of the silver linings, despite the very, very, very immeasurable cost that Palestinians are paying on the ground. That said, if we live in systems where protest is criminalized, where speaking truth is criminalized, as is the case here in the UK, where people who are protesting genocide and ethnic cleansing are deemed terrorists, but the people who are using the weapons to kill innocent civilians are not deemed terrorists, even though that's the definition of terrorist when you use violence to achieve a political aim, then it won't matter so much that people are shifting. So I think we need to rely on each other, look to ourselves to think, how can we use our time, money, and energy in a way that will meaningfully pressure those who are enabling and funding this genocide while also actively shielding Israel, as we've known for decades, from any accountability.
And just lastly, Ahmed, obviously you're a journalist, you speak to a lot of Western English-speaking audiences. There's been a lot of pressure on the media to toe a certain line on Israel, and like you said, threats to free speech. How do you feel that's affected your work? Do you see that it's affected other people's work? Has that affected your reporting at all?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. We're living in truly Orwellian dystopian times, and that can seem like a grand statement that's maybe over the top, but we're seeing journalists around the world attacked, not just targeted and killed in Gaza, but all over the world being attacked, being even a UN legal expert being sanctioned by the US government because she is doing what journalists do, which is reporting facts, documenting violations not just of law but crimes against humanity, and encouraging governments and corporations not just to do the right thing but do what they're legally and morally obliged to do. So in the realm of journalism, I think there's also a silver lining, which is that of course it makes it harder sometimes to report truth, but at the same time, when you're under attack, we have to look to each other, we have to learn from each other, we have to find strength in the fact that if we all abdicate our responsibility at holding the powerful to account, whether we're journalists, citizens, or lawyers, or regardless of what your profession is, then it won't be very long until we realize that the so-called liberties that we thought we enjoy are taken away from us. And I think sadly that is what's starting to happen. This is so much bigger. Not to minimize what Israel's doing in Gaza and in the West Bank and to Palestinians, but as we've seen with Iran, with Syria, with Lebanon, Israel is a rogue state that will not stop until it is held accountable.
Well, thank you so much.